Well, hello. Greetings, viewers. It's a beautiful sunny summer day. Thought it'd be a great day to come out and weed and prune my tomatoes. Make a pruning demonstration guide for you all. Now, there's a lot of ways to prune tomatoes. But here in the hot and humid southeast, there are ways to do it that work here that are different than ways you might see in northern or western dry climates. So you can see here I've got my ill-attended tomato bed in its state of overgrowth, and they're a very good height now to trellis and tie off. Could have done that earlier, but they're fine as they are. Everything's pretty healthy, hasn't been too wet this spring and summer, so I've gotten away with a little bit of overgrowth, which might have caused disease in another wetter year. And here you can see the few I've already gotten to. I'm running a bit of an experiment this year, allowing some double stalk tomatoes and then the more traditional single stalk tomato, which works well here. These work in our climate because you've got a lot of airflow and you don't want to allow a lot of leaves or stems contacting the soil. If you're in the Midwest or out west, you can grow tomatoes like a vine, let them grow everywhere. Here you will run into all sorts of diseases, whether they're fungal, bacterial, or viral. Unless maybe you've got a really resistant variety of tomato. These are heritage varieties. They do not have high resistance. Oh, and there's a culprit right there. It is summer. One reason these haven't gotten bigger is this is a new garden. I haven't got my fence in yet, like I meant to. And one of those little guys came and nibbled at the young tomatoes before I got protected. Stunts them a little bit, so we'll just see how they go this year. But growth looks good as long as they get enough warm days, which they should here. We should have plenty of warm days to get red ripe fruits. Okay, so here is a vine in its natural state. You can see just how messy that all is. We're going to take away an awful lot of that. I'm just going to use an ordinary razor. Works just fine. You can use a knife. And start coming in here. Got to pull out some grass, throw up my weed bucket, and just start taking out everything that's low. Every little thing that's below. I'm trying to go, I'd say at least 8 inches high. And I'll be coming back through here. You can see I've got, you see that? You can see I've got a bit of hay down, a lot of it's disappeared. Once I get all this weeded and pruned, I will be coming back through with some fertilizer, in this case in the form of more worm castings and more straw to put down as a mulch and weed barrier. Okay, so if you can see right in here, these are actually pretty good strong stems that are coming up, and they've made pretty good strong tomato vines. Now the trouble is these are touching there, right there with that plant. We're going to touch over to that plant. We're going to touch over to this plant. We're going to inhibit airflow. They're going to inhibit sunlight. And while theoretically they could produce good tomatoes, and they could increase our yield, I'm more worried about disease pressure, too much competition, so they're going to come out. Some people, especially if you live in a different climate, might find that excessive, but experience has taught me that avoiding disease is the #1 issue in the hot and humid southeast for getting a good tomato yield. Some people I know won't even try this 2-stalk method, which I'm trying for this year, allowing 2 good stalks. But I want to give it a go. Just experimental that way. So there we go. There we go. Another big one right there. Sorry, buddy. Even though there's a few flowering buds on there, they are coming out. Anything like this, where it is growing into itself, that's definitely coming out. So, a little more grass, pull out by the roots if possible. This right there, that is growing into the ground. Out you come. Little guys. Alright, you're gone. This one's just a bit of a judgment call. It is growing down. It is going to touch the ground. It's coming out. Okay. So, get this out of the way. It's growing into itself. And that's better. We'll straighten that up with some twine. We'll stand up nice and tall. And we'll put in, hopefully, a pretty good layer of mulch and hay. Alright, let's do one more right over here. Obviously, I've got a lot more grass weeding to do. You don't want to see that. It's just tedium, just takes a while. Ripping all this Bermuda and crabgrass out by the roots. Ooh la la. Alright, here we go. This one is a single stalk, worked out that way. Still need to trim it pretty good. There it goes. I'm sure y'all can see there. Alright, get that out. This has got a bit of yellow. I don't know what quite caused that, but let's just get it out of there just in case. Definitely that. Now this here, you can see that. Alright, so that's a pretty big side branch right there. And that's just too much for me. I like this one main stem. This is already basically a secondary branch. This one, that's almost a 3-branch trunk, and that's just too much. So, even though it's got little tomatoes, it's coming out. There we go. So bye-bye little green tomatoes. There. With that one, something got into that. Alright. And this little bit of disease or bug pressure could be right there. So just go ahead and pull it out. We don't need that. Alright. We'll pull it up tall and tie these off. Alright. And that will make a nice tall plant once we get some more of this grass out of here. It'll look much nicer. A lot more airflow. A lot more sunshine. And that's going to keep your pressure from tomato mosaic virus, tobacco mosaic virus, same thing. Blight, early blight, late blight. Wilt, blah blah, wilt. You know what I mean. That'll help keep all that out of here. Okay. Weeds for the compost pile.